Good evening and welcome to another live session, live from beautiful Abruzzo in Italy, and in the home office of A Home in Italy. Welcome, welcome, welcome. My name's David Benton, and tonight, ladies and gentlemen, we have the big, massive Q&A. Always great, isn't it? And also tonight, we've got the stunning photo of the week. We've also got, what else have we got? We've got Domenico and Tony's tongue twisting trials. We all love those, don't we? So we've got a fun-packed evening for you this evening. So there you go. It's a little bit of a change to the advertised webinar and that or webinar live stream, but that's because you always know when I'm stressed out. I'll give you a little hint now. When things are sort of not getting on top of me, but if I tend to get a little bit stressed out every now and then. So when I suddenly pop in a Q&A session, that's because I'm probably stressed out. So there you go. So tonight, that's because Q&A, I don't have to prepare anything. I've prepared a little bit, but it all comes from you guys. So yes, so that's whenever you see a Q&A session just pop in out of the blue, that means that that we're stressed and that we're doing maybe so we've done some signings today, which we're really happy about, and one that we need to put off for a short while, so it didn't all go 100%, but the vast majority went through perfect. So yeah, happy about that. But there you go. Got that off my chest now. So tonight is the big, massive Q&A. We do like these sessions. They are important as well, I think, because these should be the times that I do like receiving emails from you guys. I really do. But these should be the times when you ask the questions that you need to know about, because it's important for everybody as well. And I think a lot of the time, we do go over the same things on emails. We do go over a lot of the same things on the live streams as in the usual subjects. But I think the Q&A sessions are they need to happen. So you guys need to join in. Always remember, if you can't join in live, then send me an email. Send me an email to info@homeinitaly.com, and we'll read them out in the next one. I've got a few here that people have sent in. So we're going to get started really quick. Let's go through some of the. What have we got? What have we got to tell people today? Okay, tours. Let's talk about the tours a little bit. We had a tour last week. It was absolutely stunning. No, before I do that, actually, sorry. I'm getting. Can you tell I'm stressed? I'm moving ahead of myself. So the tours, last week's tour was absolutely fantastic. What a brilliant group that we had. We started off in Popoli, which is a picture that I'm showing you now. We then went on to Vittorito. I think we pretty much took over the little town centre of Vittorito, which was fantastic. Look at the weather as well. We had a strange day on the second day because a bit of a mixture of everything. Vittorito was fantastic. From Vittorito, we went to Raiano, and then we went to Sulmona. We had lunch in a fantastic restaurant just outside of Sulmona. This was the trying to drag everybody back onto the buses after lunch was getting more and more difficult as the day went on. This was just outside of Sulmona. Then we went to Pacentro. Here's Colin. What a great photograph! I just thought that sums it up, doesn't it? That's for sale. I'm not sure if it's the house or Colin from Scotland. Colin, if you're watching, then hello. There's a little bit of fame for him. Then from there, day two, that was in Pacentro. Then day two, we started off in Bocca di Val. So we'd gone from the heat of Thursday, and it was freezing there on the Friday and raining and everything else to start off with. So we went in to see this amazing cave in Bocca di Val, followed up by Penapiedimonte, the beautiful centre of Penapiedimonte. You can see everybody with their umbrellas and coats and people in the bar and running straight off the two coaches we've got in the background and running straight into the bar. Then we went to see a house just outside Penapiedimonte, the video property I did a couple of weeks ago, and the sun just started to come out. We went to Palombaro then, and then from there we went to Fara San Martino, which again we were sort of following the sun around a little bit at this point. Fara San Martino, we went to Casoli. The market didn't even turn up that day because the weather was so bad. So usually this was all geared up for the market. And then we started heading towards the coast and chasing the sun around a little bit. This is where we had lunch on the Friday. And then we took people to the Trabocchi coastline. and to the cycle and walking path down on the beautiful part of the Chieti coastline, so the southern part. And from there, we saw the Trabocchi that you can see in the background. So it was a fantastic tour. We had a great time. It is tiring. We do cover a lot. I think we saw about 18 houses, I think it was, and 10 different locations. So they're fun-packed days, and they are packed in well, but definitely worth a trip. So if any one of you are looking to join the autumn dates, then let me just put this in. The autumn tour dates are the 20th. The October one is full. There's maybe the possibility of adding something to it, but not sure yet. It's too early to say. 26th and 27th of September is now started. People to start booking that. There's only 14 spaces left, which sounds a lot, but they tend to go pretty quick. The 7th and 8th of November, there's quite a lot of spaces left on that. We do take groups. It's about between 35 and 38. So I think there's about 20 something left on November. So there is a few there. But if you are interested in any of these dates, go onto the website, go onto the tours section and take a look and book in. They are a great way. We show obviously the area, but the idea is as well that we show the properties to suit all sorts of budgets. So you see something from the cheaper budgets to the expensive budgets and everything in between. What was that Patty wrote on there, Tony? I didn't see Patty. Hello, Dave, Tony, and Domenica, watching from a hot Arizona. Good to see you, Patty. Well, not good to see you, know what I mean. Hopefully Ron and Patty are going to be doing a Meet the Home Buyers soon. They've got a bit of a story to tell. They've got an amazing place in Sulmona, but they've had to wait for a reason that I'm not going to give too much away, but a reason that it's the first time I've ever come across it, and they've had to. There's been a little bit of a delay, but they're nearly there. Okay, so we've done that. Let's do what have I got to do now? Oh yes, it's the stunning photo of the week. So I've asked people to send photographs in wherever they are in the world, and also, if possible, to add the word stunning to it. So I'm going to give a big shout out to Martin and Anne, who actually live in a town quite close to me in Civitella Messa Raimondo, where the Meet the Home Buyers were last week. A great couple that bought a few years ago. They moved out here now, and I'm actually going to ask them if they want to do a Meet the Home Buyers as well. So a brilliant couple. They sent a photograph. They sent a photograph to a friend of theirs. Hello, Roger. Roger, I may have some news for you soon. In fact, my only question is what was Roger saying? When will Tony's lost it now? Here we go. When will we get our home in Poplar? We are working on it, Roger. We really are. I may have some news. I may have something to show you shortly, but we really are working for you to try and get this. Okay, so the stunning photograph of the week goes to Martin and Anne. Thank you so much. Look what they did, and it's such a shame that you can't really see it, but they live close by, so they went for a quite high mountain walk. This is the lake. Oops. Let me just get that back. This is the Lake of Carsoli here on the right-hand side. Carsoli town is over here. They actually wrote in the snow. Unfortunately, you can't see it on here, but they actually wrote stunning. Well, I hope he wrote it in the snow. I hope he wasn't doing something else while he was trying. It's a long word, though, stunning, isn't it? Do you reckon he could have done that, Tone? I'm not sure you get that far. Maybe stun you could probably get to. Anyway. Martin, I'm sure you didn't. I'm sure you didn't do that, but maybe you did, because you are a bit of a laugh as well. So what a fantastic photograph. It's a shame that you can't see the stunning part, but there you go. That's the kind of photograph that we're looking for. Something with a little bit of fun. It doesn't have to be in Italy, can be wherever, but Martin and Anne have won this week's stunning photo of the week. Hi all, last week's tour was epic. Thank you, CPE. I can't think who that may be, but anyway, thank you very much. So yeah, that's the stunning photograph of the week. What else have I got? Oh yeah, I've got some big news. I've got some. Hang on a minute. This is Tony. I need the stage. I need the stage here, because this is huge. This is huge. In fact, I may even put my. Do I look like a newsreader? I look like a what? What did you say, Tony? I'm going to repeat that. Anyway, have we spelled newsflash right? Yeah, I wasn't. Yeah, newsflash. Stunning news for Canadians. It is stunning news because there has been talk of being able to buy in towns less than 10,000 for Canada, because there is a ban currently for Canadians buying, because the way that Canada banned people from other countries buying there, and Italy has a reciprocal agreement with Canada. And then there was talk about towns under 10,000 people, and it's been so difficult to try and get because every notary can interpret the law to a certain extent in their own way. So lots of notaries will not do it because they prefer not to, because if there's not the equivalent in Italy, then they can't do the reciprocal agreement. And there's certain things in Canada where they've eased off on some of the laws for under 10,000, but in certain areas, and nobody's really been able to, or very few notaries, and I've only come across one, but then never heard anybody that's been to them, that could interpret it into Italian. But my notary today, my fantastic notary today, has said that he is prepared to do these in towns under 10,000 people, which is, for me, huge news. And hopefully, if there's anybody watching from Canada or anybody watching a repeat of this from Canada, I hope that you're jumping up and down all over the place and partying, because it looks almost now, well, he's given me the green light. So, can I that scared the life out of me, Tony? Because I heard a banging in the background. I have no idea what that is in the background, and then this noise effect came on. Anyway, jump up and down, Canadians, because it looks like we can do it. So if you are from Canada, if you are Canadian, then send us an email, info@home in Italy, if you're excited, and let's see if we can get things done. Let's see if we can be the first Canadian to buy. I'm so happy. I'm so happy that our notary has looked into it the way he has. And today he said to me, tell them yes. So I'm telling you yes. There you go. You heard it here, folks. You heard it here first, not folks. From a man, a serious man with his newsreader glasses on. Anyway, that's that out of the way. The last thing that I want to say before we start questions, by the way, if anybody is putting any questions on now, then don't. Just wait. Just wait another couple of minutes, and then we can do the thing. The last thing I wanted to say is, don't forget, if you're looking for properties to rent in the Abruzzo area, contact our friends rentinabruzzo@gmail.com. Make sure you write it down properly. Got some fantastic places in Sulmona, in a number of times around towns around the Sulmona area. A great little place in Palombaro as well. So you can come and see us while you're here. Get in touch with them, rentinabruzzo@gmail.com. You'll deal with Lewis. He will let you know what he's got available. Some superb places. So if you're thinking about coming over, give him a shout. And yeah, I'm sure he'll get back to you really quickly. If you write this email wrong for any reason, then contact us at info@homeinitaly.com, and obviously I will send the details to you as well. So we're pretty much ready to start the Q&A set. We know what that means, don't we? We do know what that means. It means it's time. It's time, Tony. That means, Tony, can you get rid of that's on there? That's it. It's time. We need to get our timing sorted out, don't we? It's time for Domenico and Tony's tongue-twisting trials. So if you're just joining for the first time and you're thinking, what is this all about? I thought it was an Italian property live stream. It is. We get to it eventually. Okay, don't hassle us. So for those of you who don't know what this is where our man Tony, which I'm going to bring him in now. Is he ready? He's got his jumper on today. He's a bit cold today. Here he is. Good evening.
Good evening. I've got my phone ready.
And you got football on in the background.
Yeah, I've turned it down.
Thank you. That's very kind of you. So Tony is learning Italian, as we all know. So I'm going to send him a quote from a film. I did say last week that because this goes from 1 to 10, up to now you've been at level 1. I'm moving up to 1.5 now. The reason why I'm doing 1.5 is because this is a short one for you, okay? But it may be a little bit harder for people in internet land. So Tony's going to say this famous quote in Italian that is not seen yet, No guesses yet, please. You have to wait while the end of the show because Domenico is then going to join us and he's going to do it in English. Domenico is the guy that we use over in the Sulmona area. He's going to come as he wants to learn English and read it in English. And then at that point, you can have a guess. So no guessing now, please. Are you ready, Tony? I'm going to send it to you. You've got 5 seconds to study this week's. Have you got it yet?
Yep.
Okay. You got 1, 2, 3, 4. Here we go. In Italian, Tony.
Okay. Ci serve una barca più grande. Ci
Well done.
serve una barca più grande.
Do you understand what that means?
I've not really took.
Brilliant. Superb. So there you go. That's Domenico and Tony. The start. So that's the first part. Does anybody know what it is already? I've got to have a week where nobody gets it. Does anybody know what it is? Okay. Are we ready to? We better get this on the. I'm looking over here now because I've got my photographs on another screen. Tony's playing. Hi, Dave. Yes, it's just logged on. Oh, it's Colin. It's Colin from the photograph. So just to remind everybody who Colin is, just in case everybody wonders who Colin is, here he is. It's Colin from last week's tour. Anyway, okay, so the first question, Tony, I'm going to do the first question because somebody's asked me a question. I want to get this out of the way because I know Tony's going to take the mess. Somebody said to me, somebody sent me a question saying that you keep saying that you were in a rock band years ago. And they wanted to know the name of the band. Can we have it on the Q&A? So I've decided to share a photograph with you. Are you ready for this? Now this is 30 years ago. Here we go. See if you can guess which one's me. Let me get this on here. Then we will get to the subject, I promised. Which one's me, folks? Can you Oh God. Can anybody guess? I'm waiting for these things. Tony, can you Tone, can you?
Yeah.
Have you guessed? Do you know which one I am?
Top right.
Top right. What? This one here?
There.
No.
No?
Well, considering you know me, thanks. Oh, we've got some people that's got it right. Some people 80s hairband. It is. Somebody got it right. So the middle one with wrong hair. Ki-Soon Lee has said that, and Mickey P. Yeah, that is me. That is me in the middle with the serious face. This one here. I think I must have been about 18 there. We were doing a charity concert. This guy here is one of my favorite guitarists ever, Mr. Graham Oliver, famous lead guitarist from a rock band called Saxon. And I used to go to school with his son, and we were doing and that's me. That was my attempt. I think that was about 8 months growth trying to get a beard.
You look like Robert Plant in his heyday.
Oh, in his heyday. Thanks. That's kind of you. Anyway, there you go. There you go. Well done, whoever guessed that. Is it embarrassing? It's not embarrassing, is it? Let me tell you, how do I turn that off? Anyway, are we ready? A few people have said front and center. Patrick, congratulations, Patrick, by the way. Dead center. Yeah, that's me. Yeah, a few people have got it right. There you go. Anyway, are we ready to start the questions off? I've got some here, Tony. So if you want to search through the ones that you're thinking about, and I will just do. Somebody asked me a question. I'm going to answer this one while Tony's choosing the first one to come out. Somebody sent a question in. This comes from Mary and Bob. They're saying they're asking for a friend, which I don't believe. I think they're asking for themselves. Which is your favorite bar in the Abruzzo region? I mean, that's I don't understand. Do people think that I actually go to bars a lot? Well, I do, yes. So I've actually managed to get it to the top 3, my favorite bars in Abruzzo. So I'm going to share these with you now. Let me show you this one. So in third position is in Petorano sul Gisio. Petorano sul Gisio. So you need to search this place out. beautiful little historical centre, and there's a bar here that's obviously the bar on the right. There's also a restaurant behind me, and it's in this little part of the historical centre that is just beautiful here. I mean, look at the old sundial here. There's a restaurant in this corner, and then this is the bar. So that's number 3. Number 2, top 3 bars. This is getting worse. Anyway, number 2, look at that. That's just down the road from me in Piedimonte. That is the bar in the old centre where I took the group. It didn't look like that the other day because it was throwing it down with the rain. But hopefully you can see the sea in the background. So this is in the centre of Piedimonte. I love this one. And my favourite so far, even though I do like them by the coast, I love lots of others. Again, it's in Piedimonte, and it's in a place called Balzolo, which we love having a walk in. I'm making myself sound sort of like I do a lot of walking. I don't. My wife drags me along here. And in fact, that might be me there with my head down in the corner being beaten with a stick by my wife. Anyway, this is Palombaro here in the distance. And at the end of you walk around here, and then you go through a tunnel, opens out into where you leave your car park and the rest of it. And it's just a brilliant place to have, you know, a glass of water and things after a trip. So there you go. That's my favorite bar. So Mary and Bob, I know you were asking for a friend. We all believe you that you're asking for a friend. We understand. But they are my top 3 bars in Abruzzo. Okay, Tone, let's go. Let's get some serious stuff. Can you help us get in the Codice Fiscal? No. Next one. Patricia, yes, Codice Fiscal. It is fast becoming the pain of our lives. My wife is having to go back now to go into the offices again to get them. We went through a stage of having to go into the offices to get into the tax offices to get them, and then they said we couldn't do that. Then they said we had to do it by email, and we've been successfully doing it by email. Then they've said you can't do it by email anymore. And now we're going back to the office tomorrow to see if we can do it in person. It is a little bit of a nightmare. Codice Fiscal is the tax code that everybody needs when you're buying a property here. What I will suggest is go online. Please go online. Go onto your local Italian consulate. If you go onto your local Italian consulate, just type Italian consulate into Google and whichever area you're in. Then there's a search part at the top right of the screen, and type in there Codice Fiscale, and it should come up there where there is an application form. Some of the consulates are fantastic and they will do it with no problem at all. Some of them will say unless you've got a written contract, we can't do it. It's becoming a little bit of a pain again, but please, please, please try and do it through the Italian consulate, because they should do these for you. So as I say, go onto the local Italian consulate, go into the search bar, write Codice Fiscal, and it will open up and the form will be there to fill out and send them back. Give that a go first, Patricia. If you've not found a property yet, you know, there's no rush for it. But if you give that a try first, and then worst comes, if you still can't do it, then we will try. But it is getting harder and harder. We have to have a reason for it. We're trying to get around a couple of things and to see if certain contracts will do it. The problem is here, there's no standard yes or no, people. It's who you get on the day and whether they want to be nice to you or not. That's the reality. Okay, next one. Are you doing one? I shall wait just to see if you putting one up. Okay, we are interested, Alex. We're interested in a property that has a cracked wall, movement, ? And asbestos in the roof material. Any advice re costs? Would you survey before offering? Okay, the cracked, it depends the type of crack. I know it sounds strange, but small sort of cracks are normal here. Depends on the area, depends on the outside. Sort of have a look around the local area, just see if there's any other houses close by that have got similar sorts of things. If it's sort of over a centimeter or even half a centimeter, something like that, then obviously it does need looking at properly. I would always say to get a geometer in, just to have a quick look to see whether it needs underpinning, micropiling, which is a normal thing to do here. It's not that it's a bad thing to do, but I would suggest doing that. Usually the problem is when properties go for sale here. They're not for sale and then sort of the price negotiated because the windows are old, because the central heating's maybe no good. They're priced up with all of that in mind. So that property should be priced up with the fact that there is a crack in the property. So I'm not saying that anybody would sort of move on the price or anything like that, but I think it's worth, if there's cracks there, it's worth getting a geometer to have a look at it. It definitely is worth doing that, just so they can try and understand where it's come from, or if it's just the ground sort of. The problem here, if you have long times in a drought and then you have lots of rain, there can be movements. We've got cracks on this property as well, but they're not huge things. So I would say definitely to get a geometer on that. With regards to asbestos, asbestos is unfortunately quite pricey to get rid of here, but obviously there's still lots of places with asbestos on there. You don't have to move it, but once you do start moving, it has to be done correctly. To give a price is very difficult because it depends on the quantities and all that kind of thing, but it can be quite a costly thing to do. So again, I would get some advice from the geometer, let them go out and see how much asbestos and give you the kind of idea. That's what you should be doing on these types of properties, is get somebody out there to have a look at it, which I would strongly suggest you do. Okay. Wait for the next one. Tony's quick off the mat. Troy, hi Dave. Tanya and I have spotted a property in Predsa with another agent. We're not agents anyway, so I won't take offense. We have reached out to them several times and have heard nothing. Hey, nobody's complaining about me doing that, which sometimes I do. Any way you could help, we will use your service, of course, Troy. Send me a link to it. It could be somebody that we already work with, info@homeinitaly.com. What I will say, I don't know if you're from the States or anywhere else, but I've had this conversation actually with Patrick that said hello earlier, who he's going to be moving into Palombaro soon. And he told me that in the States, when you send an email, people expect 24 hours a response. 48 is the maximum, and you're pushing it a little bit. What I will say is scrap that when you send things here in Italy. And it's not because people are lazy, but a lot of the agents may be just working on their own. They may be out with people constantly every day. It can be, a lot of these businesses are run by maybe one or two people, including our business. And so once you maybe have some signings to do and you have clients to take around now, because now is the busy period for lots of people between now and sort of July, it can take a while. Another thing, it sounds really, really strange, but sometimes, and I have seen this in a number of friends' websites, things like that, where things go into spam. And I don't know why, I don't really understand why, but and also if they don't speak the language very well, they may look at it and think, I'll deal with that tomorrow, I'll deal with that, and it just gets pushed back. Unfortunately, that's the way it is. Italians like to talk. Italians like for you to come into their office and speak to them. But if you're having problems, send me the link. Send me the link to the property. I say to info@homeinitaly.com, and we'll do whatever we can to help you do this, especially if it's in Predsa as well, because it's close to Domenico. So I'm sure we can sort something out with no problem. Okay, I'm gonna do one of these again. This comes from Mary and Bob as well. Are people buying? This is to do with we touched on this last week, that there seems to be a huge rush for people to buy, and this year has been a crazy year, especially the beginning part of the year. January, February, March was just madness. It was almost like people had finished the Christmas and New Year break and thought, we've got to move to Italy, we've got to go. So we had an unbelievably busy start to the year, and lots of people asking me questions on the prices seem to be going up and things like that, and worried about getting in before prices go up. And I have said to people that that's not the case. Obviously, the prices, I would say, are on the rise a little bit, but it's more, it's getting the right property. It's getting the property that there could be 100 properties for sale in a place, but 2 or 3 have got the killer view, and one maybe has a roof terrace, and then one, and that's the thing that people tend to snap them up obviously quickly, because they suddenly think, yes, that's perfect for me, I love this town, but if I could just have some outside space, can't find anything with outside space, then all of a sudden one comes in and you just think, wow, this is amazing, let's have that. It gets snapped up really quick. That's normal. It's not something for you to be worried about. Mary and Bob, they asked a question. They said, are people buying these properties, renovating, then increasing the price to buyers? Is that what is changing the market? It's not at all. It's not really. It's not that kind of market here. It's still a young market. Bear in mind, when we first started doing this, and when I would say probably, I mean, we've been doing this 18 years now, but I would say it was only 6, 7, 8 years ago when Abruzzo was really getting onto the map. Before, nobody knew where Abruzzo was. We used to do exhibitions. They'd never heard of it. They didn't realize it was just across the leg from Rome. So it is still a young market, so that there isn't that kind of thing going off at the moment. It will come. It definitely will come as people start to invest more and more. So I wouldn't say that's what's changing the market. I think it's recently the Brits changed the market well before Brexit. Once they got to know about Abruzzo, because the prices were even cheaper then. We're talking sort of between 10 and 18 years ago when we started, the prices were much lower. The Brits were suddenly thinking, we're not going to retire in the UK. Let's sell our properties in the UK, buy something amazing in this incredible place called Abruzzo that we've just heard about, and then we're going to live on a pension, and we're going to have lots of money left in the bank, and so on and so on. So that changed it then. Then we had the whole Brexit thing and all that rubbish that went along with that. And now the American market is changing it, because you guys from the US are just, which obviously I'm very happy about, but I'm now sort of discovering Abruzzo. A lot of people have said it's because of me, which I'm obviously not everybody's discovering because of me, but obviously we're part of that, and it's gone crazy from that side. So I think it's these sort of, and then I was expecting another couple of years' time that Canadians then, once they can start buying again, but now obviously with the news that Canadians can now buy if they use my amazing notary, that may slightly change it as well. But it's not for everybody to sort of start worrying now, think, oh, we've got to have anything. Let's just have whatever it is. We just got to be there. I definitely wouldn't suggest anybody does that. But it is, people are snapping these places up. But luckily, the locals, many of them are not being greedy to it. And what I mean by that is there is a temptation for some locals to think, well, an American bought that house, American bought that house, American bought the house, American bought that. That suddenly means that mine's worth double. And that used to happen with the Brits, and until they realize that it's not as simple as that, because yes, you may have a house in the same town and within 100 meters of another 5 houses that have all been sold to foreign buyers, but unfortunately your house looks at the side of a petrol station, or your house hasn't got the view that they've got. And Italians don't quite understand what we look for in properties, in the sense of they say, yeah, but my house is better because it's here next to the bus stop, where you've got to walk 200 meters to get to the bus stop, or you've got to walk up a dozen steps. They don't sort of quite understand what we look for in properties. So luckily, most of them are not at that stage where they're saying we're going to start bumping the prices up. But it's just the supply and demand. It's just getting that perfect property that just fits everybody. And that's why we spend so much time looking around and finding the right places, finding the right towns, and then looking for the properties. So, and it does take time to do that. Okay, Tony, here we go. Angela, are you showing one day also properties in the area, Casalbordino or Polutri? Okay, so Casalbordino and Polutri I really like. I'm going to sound terrible now, and I'm not giving it sort of don't want to diss any areas. Polutri I do like. Casalbordino I don't really get, to be honest with you. Not saying there's anything wrong with it. The thing is, we tend to choose the areas where we take people on these tours, and where we do the video properties and everything else. And I'm a little bit selfish in the sense of I need to be able to say to you confidently, yes, this is a great place. There's this here, there's that there. You're 5 minutes from here. There's lots to do, whether you come in January or whether you come in August. There's some areas where I'm a little bit reluctant to do it, but they're still really popular areas. And a lot of those are in the far south of Abruzzo. And there's a number of agents down there that are very successful, and would, if they listen to me now, they'd probably just tell me that I haven't got the faintest idea what I'm talking about. But we have to keep our areas to where I strongly feel there's a reason for you to do it, whether it's for investment, whether it's for enjoyment and everything else. And unfortunately, we decided a while ago that we let the agents that are down there, then they can sort of deal with that and work sort of quite happy in the areas that we deal with. So I'm hopefully saying that diplomatically. So in answer to your question, we probably won't be showing down there, but Polutri I do like. Casalbordino I'm a little bit unsure of, but Polutri we do like. Franco, what is the area around Penny, Loreto, Apatino, Moscufo like, and do you see yourself extending out there? Penny is a strange one, because I went to see it when we first came out here looking for properties. It was a town that I really wanted to see. We were staying close by. And when I got there, I was a little bit disappointed. I've got to be completely honest with you. This is probably 20 years ago. Then I think it was 2 or 3 years ago, when maybe a little bit, somewhere around about then, I got the opportunity to go back to Penny, and I'd not been for, and I thought, okay, I'm going to see it now, hopefully with different eyes, if you like. And the countryside around Penny is great. I really love. The town still didn't really grab me, to be honest with you. But I do know there is a lot of interest there. Loreto Apatino, I used to love because we used to go there to a hotel that was at the top of the town, which I understand is going to be renovated and redone. We used to go there for our wedding anniversary and things like that. So we've been there a number of times. I did see a bit of a decline in Loreto once the hotel shut, which was obvious. I saw a little bit of litter on the streets, which you never see in Abruzzo, and I was really disappointed with that. Loreto is a stunning town as you're driving up to it. I do like those areas. I just prefer other areas, but I can see us. It is something that we are talking about. I can see us sort of looking in that area, and especially around Moscufo, I've not really looked at properly. I've driven past the countryside around there. It's beautiful, and Pianella is beautiful. I am looking around the Erlici area to start introducing some farmhouses and things like that. I'm just waiting for the geometer to get back to me with a go ahead for the properties there. So yes, watch this space on that area. Quite possibly we will look at that, Franco. Even though I'm still extremely happy with the areas that we're in now. It is an area that we're possibly looking at, and around Città Sant'Angelo as well, around the Pescara sort of basin, so Città Sant'Angelo, Cepagati, and some of those sorts of areas. So if we were going to extend out, then that is the way we'd go, and Pianella, and possibly towards Penny as well. That was quite a long answer, wasn't it? I can't remember the question. Thank you, Franco. I do remember it. Brad's going to be a future meet the home buyer. Is there still plenty of contractors in your area for renovations, or are they getting thin because so many people are buying? I don't think it's just because of the Brits that are buying. The contractors are just really busy in general. When the Italian government cleverly introduced the 110 program, which was the 110% rebates that people got, they did that at the perfect time during COVID, and it did wonders for the economy and everything else, and kept the building trade going. But what it's done is it has created a huge backlog for some of these people. So I would say there are workers around. There are not enough workers around. They could do with more. But yes, I mean just be prepared to wait a little bit. But there's some of the smaller jobs. It's the bigger jobs that are the ones that a lot of the big contractors are really taking on huge jobs at the moment, because I said there's still lots of government funds around as well. But some of the smaller jobs and the kind of things that your place will probably need, it shouldn't be too much of a problem finding somebody. We're sort of at the moment not stepping away from restoration, but we're passing it to people that can look after that more, because that is a full-time job for people. But in the areas local to us and where you're looking at, Brad, then yes, there should be it shouldn't be too long a wait for yourselves. Okay, Tony's gone quiet on me. Stuart, if we buy a property from overseas that needs some work, how easy is it to coordinate and oversee without being present? We would like to hire a local geometer to manage this. Would we hire a local geometer? Yeah, I would definitely say a local geometer is the way to go. Overseeing it without being present. This was the kind of thing that we did a lot of. My wife managed projects for many, many years when we were part of an estate agency. And the problem is now is because of some of the distances involved, it's not always easy. But a local geometer is definitely the way to go, because they will have the local contacts as well for builders and that kind of stuff. So I think if you get, the important thing is, I think when you're doing it from overseas is probably to get a contract in place. So once your geometer knows what you want, once you've got the full price, because you get a breakdown of all the prices, once you get all of that, then I would suggest getting a contract in place with some deadlines and that kind of thing for the prices. But definitely using a local geometer is the best way, because they know, they've been working there for years and years and years. They know the local builders, and they should be able to pull people off certain jobs. They will probably have a few projects ongoing with a number of builders and things like that, where they could pull those off and put them onto your job. So I would definitely 100% yes to a local geometer. And at the end of the day, if they don't speak English, with Google Translate now and with plans, and when you see the plans and you know what it's going to look like, they shouldn't really go too far wrong. And then obviously be there to choose your tiles and all the rest of it. But definitely local. Okay, while we're on to geometers, I'm going to answer this question, Tony. Just one sec. This has come from Ron that wrote in. He said, I think I need these glasses. Is it a geometer who can tell a prospective buyer whether they will be able to put in a pool on the property, and what conditions and restrictions apply to putting in a pool, such as in-ground versus above-ground, size, shape, colour, etc., or is it someone else who provides this information? It's a great question, Ron, because I have seen it on a number of other channels that are showing properties, which is fine, but they're not really they're not knowledgeable enough to speak when it comes to restorations. And you see some people will say, what a great space to put a swimming pool. You can't just automatically think because there's a piece of grass there that you can put a swimming pool in there, because that's not how it works here. Some areas, for instance, Puglia, it wasn't that long ago, we're trying to get a swimming pool down there was a nightmare. I'm not saying it's like that now, but some areas will say, no, absolutely no way. Then it depends on the kind of land. It depends what whether you're in white zone, yellow zone, red zone. That's not to say that the zone that you're in means that it's really dangerous to do that, but certain zones you just can't put these things in. And it's not because, it doesn't matter whether it's above ground or in ground, because if you have a huge mass of water and that water leaks out and spills onto the land that may be the kind of land that could slip, then you could cause huge problems for yourself and also for houses below. So there could be restrictions for things like that. So a geometer is a fantastic person to get in touch with, because they will find out the rules. They'll get the information from the local council, in the sense of they will find out what zone you're in. They'll find out if there's any restrictions to boundaries. Do you have a stream running past the house that maybe you're not allowed to within so many meters from the stream, not allowed to within so many meters from neighbors or the road? So again, a geometer is really important, because the last thing you want to do, if you set your heart on a place and you think, I definitely 100% want to put a pool in, and it's based on that I'm buying a place, you need to make sure that you get in touch with the geometer 100%. Even if the estate agent says, or if the video says, doesn't matter on things like that. You need to try and be as accurate as possible when you're doing videos and all the rest of it. But they are only what can you say? It is just a look at the property. Nobody is saying, and anybody that does say that'd be great for a pool, that doesn't necessarily mean you can have one. A space being great for a pool is one thing. Can I have a pool? Completely a different thing. So Ron, yeah, I would definitely say to contact a geometer. Okay, Tony, have you got any more? Do you want to pop them on there? Dan, you said you're not an agent. Could you do a brief overview of what you do? Yes, of course I can. So we are definitely not estate agents, and we used to be part of an estate agent before. We're registered as consultants for overseas buyers and translators and things like that. So we register ourselves like that to be more flexible. In other words, we have a number of agents. We keep that to a minimum, because there's only so much we can do, and there's only so many agents that we'll work with. But we have some agents that we work with that they will invite us to see some properties that they think are fantastic. We'll go have a look. If we think they're good, they go on the channel. The estate agent that work with us will not charge you a commission. And instead, you will use our services to help you get through the whole thing, for the translations, to be a power of attorney, to do everything else. So it's not costing you any more to do that. We also have services where maybe you're buying through an agent, but you just need that little bit of extra help. Someone just to sort of lean on. We actually have a service called Lean on Me, where we can also be your power of attorney. We're not solicitors, we don't give legal advice, but what we do have is a huge amount, many years experience in this field. So yeah, we're registered legally. We pay our taxes in Italy. We're a registered business in Italy, because that's another thing you need to check when you go on all these websites. There was somebody just on Facebook the other day that was, I saw in a group, that was pulling down agents and basically saying, come and look at my website. I will go out and look at properties for you, rather than you coming here and looking at 20. I will get them shortlisted and do everything else. And he was pulling agents down. And when I looked at his website, there's no address there, there's no tax information there. This was an expat. I don't know if it was it looked like he was from I think he said he was from the US, and said that he was living in Italy since 2000, whenever it was. So he's here, but there was no information about the taxes. So that's important to find the VAT numbers and things like that. So don't fall into those tricks. So we are registered, and we sort of float in between. We get agents that come to us that say, will you come and have a look at what we do? Will you work with us? And then we obviously have Domenico, who we deal with a lot with properties. We also have Ines in Popoli. We have Claudio at this side of the mountains in Palombaro. Then there's about 3 or 4 other people that we deal with. But as I say, we do try and sort of, we work in a different way to other people, and we just try and get it to we can also try and get it to that point where we really trust the people that we're working with. But the way it comes back to us is that they don't charge you for a simple commission. So it's not just a commission payment. You don't pay the agent. You pay us for a series of services that gets you from viewing that property either in person or in video to actually becoming the owner of that property. That's what we do. And we can also help people that maybe you've been over, you've seen a property that's for sale by the owner, and you want to buy that way directly from the owner, but you need somebody to help you through it. That's what we do as well. So that's it in a nutshell, Dan. Okay, Tony, have you got any more? I wish people could see his face. He's sort of looking in a strange way to try and anyway. While he's looking for some, let me just have a quick look at this one. Oh, this one's a good question. Oh, now he's found one. Franco, I understand the 110 for Renos is over, but are there other programs available to non-resident owners? Difficult for non-residents, but there are lots of discounts where they do sconto in fattura, so discount in the invoice. And so there's lots of things when it comes to making your property more energy efficient. So if new boilers, windows, things like that, sometimes you can get up to 50% off some of these, but it is 50% off the RRP, so off the top price, if you like, but you still end up saving a good 25-30%. So if you are buying sort of new windows, anything that's going to make your property more energy efficient, then look around, because there are these people that will give these discounts, and they're available for everybody, not just for non-residents. So they're really good. Another question from this again is from Ron. Can you please clarify what one is legally allowed to do to use their cantina space, as in cellar spaces? Or does it vary from council to council? For example, could you put a bed in the canteen and use it as occasional guest room or as a summer sleeping room? Or could you put a kitchen in there and a dining for summer meals, set up a studio or something similar? Okay, so this happens a lot. So people that have, if something is registered as a cantina traditionally would have been where you keep wine, where you keep cheese, where you can keep prosciuttos and things like that, food. And then you would have taverna traditionally was a room where you would have parties, big table, maybe a kitchen down there and all the rest of it, and they're classed as these types of rooms because they're lower taxable values. And if somebody wants to put in your house, if you have a garage and you choose to put a bed in that garage and sleep in that garage, you know, it's your house. If you want to sleep in your garage, you can do whatever you want. If you want to put a kitchen in there, make yourself a cup of tea and do whatever. And but it's a garage. That's where it is. You can't rent that out unless it becomes something that you can actually rent out. So it's a habitable place. But if you decide to, what you decide to do in your room is, you know, if you decide to put a bed in your cellar, then you can do that. But when it comes to selling the property, you can't say, if you have 2 beds plus a cellar, or 2 beds and a bed in the garage, you can't say it's a 3-bed property. You can't. It's a garage. That's where it is. So for a cantina or something similar, which are usually on the ground floors of the house, some are underground, some are above ground. If you want to turn that into a habitable space, again, a geometer is the one to check with. They will check if the comune, the council, will allow for extra volume within your house. So that's the first thing, to see if they will allow you to increase the volume of your habitable space. They will also check if there's enough light coming in. There's a calculation, which I've completely forgot now, that my geometer told me about, but that comes if there's enough light coming in to be classed as a habitable space. So that goes for under the roof rooms, it goes for garages, anything else. But the important thing is, don't just presume, I've got an outbuilding, I'm going to turn that into a house and I'm going to rent it out. Because at the end of the day, to a certain extent, you can do what you want in your house, but that doesn't necessarily make it legal to do that. And certainly when it comes to selling. So I would definitely check with the geometer what you can and can't do, and then go from there, because lots of people do want to convert these places. But if you want it to be permanently changed into a bedroom, or if you're just using it as an occasional bedroom, at the end of the day, it's in your house, that's where it is. But when it comes to renting out, that could be a different thing altogether. So I think it should be fairly similar in most countries in terms of the law. But here, the great thing is the geometers have the answer to everything, and that's the important thing. Tony's got a confused look on his face. Have you got any more to put? Always got one here. Tiernan, coming on the October tour, do we find out what times we'll be visiting ahead of time? How do you decide? And do you take requests? Unfortunately, we don't take requests, because we do have sets of towns that we do visit, but it can also change depending on the properties we've got and depending on weather and that kind of thing. So what we tend to do is we definitely do around the Sulmona area one day, and then we do my side of the mountains, the seaside of the mountains, if you like, on the second day. So it all depends on how many properties we've got in these towns, and I say it does depend on weather as well. So we certainly can look at requests if you want to send something in, but we can't guarantee that we'll do that. But if you send us an email in, then we will have a look at that. What we can't do, because the days are packed full, and I'm sure anybody off some of the old tours will agree with me as well. It can be quite tiring, so we do pack as much in as possible into these 2 days to show you as much as possible. And we also have to then choose towns that are reasonably that we can do a run, if you like, and make it relatively easy then for getting back to Pescara at the evening time. But yeah, we will look at that with no problem if you want to send an email. Okay. Let's see what else we've got. Oh, Susan. Hi, I wish you were in Sicily. Thanks. I do love Sicily, Susan. We go on holiday there very often. So it is a great place. I love following you and seeing what you're showing for sale. Do you know someone in Sicily who is like you? Unfortunately, I don't at the moment, and it is. I would like to find somebody in most areas. Again, that was the idea when we started doing a home in Italy, was to try and look at the whole of Italy. And things went crazy in Abruzzo. And that's really then why we've sort of put our focus back into Abruzzo. But that's not saying we can't help you in Sicily. We still have services. If you go onto the website and click on the services, download the service PDF. And there are different things we can help you with there as well, which the Lean On Me service is a great service for something like that. But I am trying to look for somebody in it's a tough one with Sicily because it's very territorial as well, which agents are in most areas, but I would say even more so down there as well. So I will try, Susan. At this moment, I don't have anybody, but have a look at the services and see how we can help you in the area anyway. But good luck to get buying down there. It is a great place. I do love Sicily a lot. Tony's got the screensaver face on. Franco, after submitting a plan for a big reno, how long does it usually take to get municipal approval? Good question. That all depends on what you're doing and depends whether the work that you're having done is in an area that needs further approval than just local approval. So if you are, depends on the area where you're buying, that's a huge thing. If you're doing minor restorations inside, you're inside, then you can usually have that done at local level. You're saying a big reno job, so there's a good chance that it will have to go to the region as well, and the region can take a while. It can be 3 to 6 months easily, just for when, and there's much more paperwork that has to go in as well. So the whole getting the plans together and everything else can take quite a while. So it all depends what you're having done, and depends, like I say, on the area as well, and whether it's under a certain I can't remember the name of it now, but there's certain things that would have to go to 2 or 3 departments rather than just sort of one department. So it really does depend what work you're having done and the town that you're having it done in. But don't just presume that it can all be given the go-ahead from the local council. Again, a geometry is absolutely, if you're doing a big restoration, Franco, you really need to get a good relationship with the geometer so they can say, look, we can do this work under approval from the council, so we can do all the interior stuff. This is exactly a project that we did in a place called Rockamore, and Stan and Sharon are long overdue another update, so we'll probably get them on in the next month or so. But they did all their internal works at local level, and that's all done, and the house is all habitable. But then now they're moving to the next stage of doing all the exterior works, and that all has to go to a completely different place. And that's where the time can so ideally a geometer should be able to manage it, where get all the internal stuff done while the process is being done for all the exterior works. Okay, Tony, next one, whenever you're ready. How long does it take full residency? I've just seen Domenico's just coming in now. How long does it take to get full residency? If you've got your visa, it all depends on it depends again where you're coming from. If you're coming from outside of the EU, then obviously you need to get a visa. Once you're here, then the process starts. Now, my wife looks after this more than I do. She's just been with somebody recently who we did very recently. I'm hoping to get these on Meet the Home Buyers as well, who she's just taken now to get an appointment at the Questura, which is the immigration office, if you like. So there's a procedure, a pack that you have to fill out that you get from the post office. You fill out this pack, send it off to get your appointment. Now, these particular people have got their appointment in September, so they've got to wait quite a while just to get to their appointment. And then once that's done, then the next process starts. So that, I could say, is probably going to take at least 6 to 9 months, I would say. Whereas some other people we did it with, and they got it within sort of 3-4 months. But this particular couple who's been told to wait, their local mayor has actually issued residency just on the documents. The fact that they've put their application in, and just using those documents is actually issued residency, and they've got it within a couple of weeks of being here. I've never heard that, and I'm not saying that that's they've got it. It's certainly legal. Whether the mayor has done, I don't know, done something I'm not too sure about how he's managed to do that, but they certainly have got that. So I would say it all depends on the length of time you're waiting for your first appointment at the Questura. So I know it may not answer you properly, but you want to be considering months rather than weeks. So I would sort of consider between 6 to 12 or 6 to 10 months, something like that. I would say. Okay, any other questions, Tony? Because I think it's just about time for... It is. Let me just quickly answer this. Ellie, will you be showing properties in Sardinia? We were supposed to, while we were in Sardinia, actually, we met some guys there, and we were supposed to be doing properties in Sardinia. We're supposed to be going again to meet these people at the end of May. We were hoping to have everything up and running in Sardinia. The problem I've got one more time is that it's the time, to be honest with you. It really is, because we're so busy where we were. We cast out the lines to try and do a bit of everything, and it became unbelievably busy back in Abruzzo, and we've sort of had to try and change our plans a little bit. But yeah, Sardinia, I do have contacts in Sardinia where I've got contacts where I'm comfortable to say contact these people. These people in Sardinia, they go for the high-end stuff. If you're looking for something like that, contact me, and I'm be more than happy to give their details. And also anybody in Puglia, there's somebody that I'm more than happy to give details there. Okay, are we ready? It's that doesn't time fly? It's such a shame, isn't it, when it comes to at the end of these sessions? But there you go. We unfortunately do have to leave shortly. But before we do, we're back to Domenico and Tony's tongue-twisting trials. Are you ready for the final? So we've got to find out. I'm just looking at both of them. They're both on little screens down here. I can see them both waiting to get on. We're going to have a YouTube and a Facebook winner, because I know there's a slight delay between the two. If anybody had a guess before, then you shouldn't have done. You've got to wait for Domenico to do it. And then you can guess. Okay, people are talking about rats. I'm pleased Ron's there sticking up. Thank you, Ron. Haven't seen or heard of any talk of any rats. Most communities are super clean. I agree with that. I don't know where the rat conversations come from, but Ron's over here and been in Abruzzo for a few months now, staying in Raiano, and bought an amazing place. Him and his wife Patty in Sulmona. They are going to be future meet the home buyers. So if Ron says there's no rats, I agree with Ron. I've never seen a rat problem here. Sorry, Tony, I'm going off thing. I just saw a few people chatting about them. Anyway, okay. So are we all ready? We're settled and ready. Let's bring on Tony, and let's bring on our Italian man. It's Domenico. Buonasera.
Hey, Tommy.
Hi, Tony.
Buonasera, Tommy.
E good
Tutto
evening.
bene?
Bene, grazie.
Meno male. Sei pronto?
Come sempre. No.
See, that's a new word for you. Come sempre. That means like always. I asked him if he was ready, and he said, as always, no, was his answer.
I'm ready.
You're ready. Very good. Okay, let me get rid of this so we can just see Domenico properly. Allora, questa di oggi questa è facile, è più corta. I'm just telling Domenico today, I've lost my telephone. Today's tongue twisting trial is very easy. Let me just get the chats on, ready for people to guess. Okay. Domenico.
Yes.
Oh, man, aspetta.
Do you want me to do it again? Or?
Yeah, in fact, because I've actually made a little bit of a mess up, I need to send it to his wife's phone. So here we go. Tony is doing it again. Off you go.
Ci serve una barca più grande.
Ok. Hai capito quello, Domenico? Sì.
Sì. Ma al telefono di sì.
Aspetta un attimo, aspetta, poi ti mando. Ok. Here we go. Now Domenico is going to say it in English, and then you've got to guess. 5 secondi per studiare, va bene? Hai ricevuto il messaggio?
Yes.
Okay, he's got 5 seconds. Questo è facile. Okay, are we ready for Domenico? Okay, vai.
You are gonna need a bigger boat.
Brava.
Un'altra volta.
Bravo.
You are gonna need a bigger boat.
Okay, is anybody going to get it tonight? Everything's gone quiet. Nobody. Video. Oh, Ron. Oh, no, it's not Ron. I thought Ron was the first. It is. Oh, it is Ron. Ron's the first on YouTube. Correct.
Bravo, Ron!
It is from Jaws from 1975. Who's going to be first on? Who's going to be first? Oh, we've got, and it's Brad. Brad has won on Facebook. Let me just double check. Excellent. And we've got lots of other people that've got it as well. Patrick's got it. Brian's got it. Sandra's got it. Troy's got it. A number of people have got it. But tonight's winners are Ron. I can't believe people got it. I didn't think they'd get it tonight. Ron with Jaws. And then from Facebook, it's Brad with Jaws. Well done. Superb. Va bene. Allora, Domenico, ci sentiamo domani.
Yes.
Arrivederci e grazie.
Thank you.
Tone, thank you very much, sir.
See you later.
See you soon. Bye. Okay. Do you like these tongue twisters? I think they're getting funner. What I'm thinking about is I actually spoke to Pacentro Pete. And that's mad. Pete, just talking about you. Let's do some Jack Nicholson quotes next. Pacentro Pete's going to join in with this. What we're going to take it to the next level. We're actually going to have conversations. We're going to do a little bit of sort of acting between Tony and Pacentro Pete doing the Italian side, and then Domenico. And we have to find somebody else. We have to find somebody. We have to find somebody else who I can bring in to do some more dialogue, should we say? It's all madness, but it's all fun. And that's what life is, living here in Italy. Okay. Lewis. Does Ron win a lock of Dave's hair? Lewis loves to talk about my hair. I wish I could just get him on live now. He's just jealous because he's got very little hair. Anyway, thank you for that, Lewis. It's just not the same without you coming on and mentioning my hairstyle. Anyway, everybody, thank you so much for joining me. Really, really appreciate it. As usual, hope you enjoyed the Q&A session. Next week, we are going to be doing the Abruzzo, My Abruzzo special edition. So we're going to have a few people that's been on the tour. We're going to have Brad, who won the Facebook part of the competition. He's going to come on. He came on a tour, found himself a fantastic place. We may get Pacentro Pete on as well, just to come and say hello. So it should be a few people coming on next week, which we do enjoy when we get a bit of a crowd on here telling you how amazing Abruzzo is. I don't pay these people off. This is their own thoughts. We're also going to have Joe and Else that were on last week's Meet the Home Buyers. If you remember, the couple that look after the old dogs, because they've got a new one and they're going to give us just a quick hello and just give us a quick update. And they've also opened a new Buy Me a Coffee, I think it's called, which is a page where you can actually help these guys out looking after the animals. And that they didn't choose to do that. They got such a response from last week's live stream of people saying, we want to help out with all these dogs and this kind of thing. So he's decided to open this. So hopefully oh, and I've just disappeared off screen. I don't know what's happening. Then we're in May, as I was saying. Time is flying by, but we're loving it. We're going to keep these things going. Lots more new content coming also in May time. Okay, so from me, I will see you next week. Remember, in Italy this week, we have a festa on Thursday. So everything is closed on Thursday. You won't hear anything from it. Only restaurants and bars will be open. And Claire's saying she's staying with Joe and Else in May. Fantastic. Brilliant, Claire. So yeah, everything's closed on Thursday, including us, and then next week there's another festa on the Wednesday, so we'll be closed then as well. So it's a short couple of days off. Looking forward to that, really am. Thank you guys so much. I really appreciate it. Watch out for this Saturday's video property, because it's a bargain. It's brilliant. I absolutely love it, and you'd actually be living close to Domenico as well. Not sure if that's a plus side, a plus or not, but it is a bargain property. It's absolutely fantastic. So keep an eye out on that. Thank you so much. Have a great week, and we'll see you next week.